Hey, listeners, before we start with our great episode that's holding up for you guys, I got a quick question. What is your favorite Pokemon of all time? Let us know in our Instagram at Drunk Cop and a Teacher and write down on the comments below and let us know. My favorite Pokemon, to be honest with you, might be Blaziken and Gyarados. What about you, Sal?
Squirtle all the way.
Whoa,
Squirrel all the
Squirtle!
way. Nice. If I had to guess ham, it would be probably Ditto
Of
or
course.
Snorlax.
It's
So
whoa,
ham.
like Snorlax. Whoa,
Well,
Ditto. Of
the thing is,
course.
like,
What? Why?
Snorlax is lazy during the day, and then when you're drunk, you turn into Ditto.
How does that make sense?
That makes
I don't
perfect
know.
sense.
I think it
Sure.
makes
No,
perfect sense for real.
Ditto because you can have all the Pokemon you want in one. So there you go.
Well, either way, let us know. So hit that intro music.
Welcome to another episode of Drunk Cop and a Teacher, the podcast where everything's made up and our comments don't matter, just like how I feel about the new Spider-Man movie title.
I thought that was last week. Is this week? What? Okay.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it last week because it was announced, I think, shortly after we recorded.
Yeah. Well, we
Um,
posted stuff and we were like, I was just like, I'm just making my own shit, and then you guys saw some stuff on the interwebs.
I'm tired of the home theme. I'm like, why? Like, Homecoming was fine. Like, I got it. The reference, sure, but then Far From Home, No Way Home, like they just sound dumb at this point.
I feel like they went to a bar and we're like, "Hey man, we need to figure out the title." They're like, "Yeah, oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna get home."
Ham
There's
came
no
in
way
really
Yeah, no,
home.
I'm across the bar. I'm like, hey,
Is that you, Tom Holland? Tom Holland,
yeah,
yo, how's
hey,
it going, man?
what's going on, Tom Holland? You know,
That's how it went down.
yeah.
True
Then we
story.
drank, and then shit happened.
They were trying to tease it first with like the each of the stars. Well, the three main ones, I guess, were like
Yeah,
teasing
so
it
that
like Home Wrecker, Home Slice on the like phone home or whatever. And then eventually they came out with that 30-second teaser of like Tom Holland coming out of John Watts's office and like, oh, he won't give me the title, blah blah blah, and then they just reveal it on the board, which everyone's like going crazy about the board and like breaking it down and shit. And then like the other thing too is like if you noticed on the fake titles that these stars were giving, there's color schemes to them and people are breaking that down to like speculate who's going to be in the movie and whatever. And I don't know. It's
Oh, can you throw out the colors real quick, or do you know?
one of them was greenish, so people are speculating that this confirms that Green Goblin is going to be in there.
Okay.
And then the other two were like a very like kind of like shiny red and blue, and some people are speculating that just implies that the other two Spider-Man are going to be in there. So I regard in the end, I
No
just
purple.
the title is stupid. I just think the title is stupid, and that's
The title is stupid.
I
don't
don't
know.
care. I don't.
They can't.
care.
They I just don't care for this movie because they can't do Spider-Man right. All right, I'm moving on from there.
Ooh, nice.
Mike,
Somebody needs a
shut
drink.
up. Mike,
I will. I will. I will.
how much have you finished watching Borderlands? Alice in Borderland.
No, I have not. No. I haven't finished. Alice in Borderlands. I haven't had time to watch it. My weekend has been. I want to. It's a mix of overwhelming and underwhelming. It's all over the place. I had a very very busy weekend, so I haven't had time. But I'm actually going to finish it. So next episode, I want to give like my full
Okay.
review. Oh, well, my card, whatever. My card. That's for sure. For sure. I'm gonna take like this time this week to actually like catch up on shows and video games and everything like that. Pretty much like a stress reliever and stuff. So,
Oh, but I do want to ask, where
and
you
then
at
yeah,
Modern Family? Because you were watching that, correct?
yeah, we're actually in season 6. I was gonna say
Oh,
12.
so
I
now
was like, whoa! This guy's living in
We're in
2032.
season, yeah, right. We're in season 6. episode 18, I believe, 18 or 17, around there. But we're flying through the show. It's really good. I'm enjoying it. I love it. So far, I cannot say that there's not even one episode that I dislike. I like all the
And then
episodes. That I think they're really
I
really
wanted to
good.
ask, why didn't it attract you at when it first came out?
I think at that time that's when like The Office was coming out, How I Met Your Mother.
No. This
I
was
think those.
after, but both of those really, yeah.
What? No. It was actually like right in the middle between those two shows. So like right after they were finished, I never really got into them, and I didn't did my research into the show.
Mhm.
I just saw like commercials, and I mean, I have a huge crush on Sofia Vergara, but
But did you know her before
uh,
the Modern Family?
yeah, of course, of
But
course.
no, I think if
So
if I look at it, Modern Family came out in 2009. That's little after The Office, and maybe even How I Met Your Mother. But what
well,
is
either way,
yeah.
I didn't, yeah, I don't know. I just, I want to blame it on those two shows,
Hmm.
but at the same time, it just comes back to me for not really paying attention.
Yeah, for me was
But
Ed O'Neill. Ed O'Neill from Mad with Children. I'm like, I gotta watch this. He's in this. I haven't seen him in a while. Like, what the fuck he's been up to? And I watched it. I'm like, this is pretty good. And and I watched it from episode to episode when it first came out, and I'm just like, wow,
right,
it's
yeah,
very good. Sal, did you ever watch it?
yeah.
No.
That was a Bugs Bunny. Nah.
But regardless, though, it's really really
Yeah.
good. Man, I'm gonna be sad when we finish it because
Just
it's
rewatch it.
been really fun. I probably might rewatch it, but I
No,
don't
it
know if
was.
my wife will rewatch it. But other than that, there was another movie. Oh, we saw Sonic. My wife never seen Sonic.
Oh shit.
Dun, dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun, 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 dun,
her
dun.
instant reaction right after the movie, she literally looked at me. She said, "That was really good."
Oh,
I was
nice.
like, "Right." Yeah, and she actually knows a bit of the characters too. When she saw Tails, she was freaking out. She was like, "No way!" I was like, "Yeah." So that's been pretty much what I've been up to, all boring and stuff like that. What about you, Ham?
Get to the point. Have you created any new streaming services lately? Because I feel like after everything you've been watching, you should have created your own streaming service.
You ever heard of
Quibi?
no, no. Paramount,
Not yet.
OnlyFans. Yeah, no, don't worry about that. I got it in the pocket, but I want to go to Superman and Lois. And you guys watch it or no?
No.
It's been getting very good stuff. I watched it. I'm like, that's a mini
No.
movie. It was good. It was good. The
The only
pilot
thing I
is good.
saw was he gets stabbed in space, right?
That was a little ridiculous, but yes.
Okay. The only complaint I saw, which I kind of do seem like it's legitimate, even though it was a Kryptonian, like a Krypton rock knife thing, whatever. The sun is right next
Kryptonite?
to him. The sun is right next to him. Doesn't he
Yeah.
just get recharged by the sun? Doesn't
Yes.
that not affect him? So he
No,
gets
recharge, but it's like water and alcohol. So he got it both at the same time. So whatever wins out, it depending on
So he got Vicks Vaporus, pretty much. He went to CVS, and that was his healing drug.
Vipa, Vipa Puru. All right, this guy. But yeah. But if you actually watch the episode, it's shot very well. Like, I know it's a pilot, but it's shot better than every CW Warner Brothers superior season.
So would you say a little bit more budget than other ones?
I agree. It already got
'cause-
renewed for season 2.
Probably because after
Really?
they canceled their other series, they were like, "Oh, we got some more money to spend now. Let's just throw it here."
Stargirl got sort of the same treatment for her pilot, but I don't think that it
Continued.
looked as good
Hmm.
after the pilot.
Oh, well,
But that's who made that though? CW or HBO?
no, CW.
No, it's
Or I
all
mean,
CW.
it's all CW. Okay,
Oh.
okay. Because I didn't know what's going on with there. Because I don't know if it was that DC. Because you remember, everybody remembered that DC had that streaming service that completely failed.
But no, now it's HBO.
Um,
Yeah.
now it's HBO, so that's why I didn't see any trailers for Stargirl. So I don't know if
It was
that
all on
budget is super
CW.
high. All CW. Okay, so it's low budget. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
and then I think Flash just came out, but it's today, so you know.
I'm far behind. I don't know if I'm going to catch up to that or not.
But I
To
will.
to be honest,
I will give up my time and go to Sal. But first, Sal,
Mm-hmm.
where are you on Ready Player One, 2?
ooh,
I inserted the game.
Uh-huh.
That's
So after the
listen,
prologue.
man. There's a lot of shit going on. Right?
Oh, Mike, back me up because he calls you out. I got him. I fucking got him.
Yeah, I pulled a mic.
you
All right,
got
I
him, buddy.
pulled a mic.
Uh-huh.
You know what, Ham? You got another congratulations.
Thank you. Because he talked about that book. How many episodes
Yeah,
ago?
yeah. Anyway, besides suffering from allergies this whole fucking past week, it's been pretty good. I mean, I haven't really watched anything other than just keeping up with Pokemon stuff that's been happening over the weekend, and that's it. Like, I'm coming to an end on my school term, so there's just a lot of papers that I have to type up, and there's a lot more demand on work, and so I'm just, like I said, I've been falling behind. There's just a lot of shit going on, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to spring break at this point.
Spring break.
Jesus Christ.
When is spring break for you?
It's the week of the 15th, so I have this week to finish and all of next
nice.
week, and then I'm off for at least a week.
Do you guys remember when we were back in high school and when it was spring break? Like, I don't know why in my head. I mean, everybody else was saying like, "Oh yeah, I want to go to the beach. I want to go do this." For me, was like, I want to play video games and watch MTV
Well, I don't know about
and pretend that I'm there at the concert.
Yeah, I'll agree with the first part. MTV. Nothing was on MTV when we were. Well,
that's not true.
Yeah.
They had Marathon
Yeah, it
of
was.
Real World.
no thanks.
Yeah, they had Real World. They had like that.
That wasn't supposed to be good.
that
Oh,
beach-
Mike knows.
that-
Mike's gonna go. Yeah. What else did they have that was stupid?
They had. I remember they had the concert for what was it? It was like a beach concert where there was like
MTV and music.
Carmen,
Are you kidding?
Carmen Electra,
Oh, I'm
Fat
sure
Joe.
you like that.
I know what you're talking
a whole
about.
bunch
It
of
was like
things.
a daily show too that they would do, right?
Not
Yeah,
the
it was
actual
something like
Daily
that.
Show,
Yeah,
but
not
yeah.
yeah.
And also too, as well, watching some Cartoon Network as well too, as like sometimes Tom and Jerry and stuff like that.
On Cartoon Network.
I was gonna say, what kind of? That's like
I will
bootleg
call
Tom
you
and
out
Jerry.
like a motherfucker. Our Cartoon
Wait.
Network?
Tom and
No, wasn't Tom and Jerry?
no,
Cartoon
Tom and
Network?
Jerry was
No.
fuck. It was
Nickelodeon.
it was. Oh my god, Tom and Jerry was. Where did it start, Ham? Was it like a CBS thing? It was super old school. Tom and Jerry is a very old school
I don't
cartoon.
even know, man.
And then
I mean, I know that, but I remember turning on Cartoon Network. And
Oh
Tom
no,
and Jerry.
maybe the new dumb episodes.
maybe,
Oh, no.
and then there was
No,
Tom and Jerry. There was Tom and Jerry
the old
Kids.
school one.
I don't know about that, but then there was Tom and Jerry Kids that I think was a was a WB? I think it was WB Kids. I think Tom and Jerry Kids used to be like a WB Kids thing.
Well, yeah, because we all watched the movie. It's a WB property.
Yeah. So, speaking of which, though, we'll just go ahead into our Tom and Jerry discussion because that is the movie that we saw for this week. A movie that
Did
I
we?
completely forgot that was even coming on until Mike brought it up in our last episode. So yeah, Tom and Jerry, a live action / animated movie IMDb gave it a 6.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 26%. Google users,
Out of 100?
yeah, Google users,
okay.
Ham's favorite users, 86% of them like this movie. I feel like every time I bring up Google users, it's always in the 80s. Like, is there like 5 people voting this entire thing, and only 4
Yeah, I
of them?
don't know who's doing the Google. I don't even know where to do the Google thing. The Google?
I don't know. But anyway, came out on HBO Max. I don't think it had a theatrical release. Not to
It did.
It did. Okay.
It did.
So theatrical and HBO Max. Synopsis.
Because I said I thought about it, but
Oh, that's right. The synopsis goes: a legendary rivalry reemerges when Jerry moves into New York City's finest hotel on the eve of the wedding of a century, forcing a desperate event planner to hire Tom to get rid of him. As mayhem ensues, the escalating cat and mouse battle soon threatens to destroy her career, the wedding, and possibly the hotel itself. Yeah, there's that dramatic reading for you. The stars of the show, there's quite a bit of them, although I'm not familiar with a couple. So
who do you got for
Chloe
me?
Grace Moretz, who's the main actress of
Kick-Ass.
yeah,
The
Hit Girl.
Kick-Ass.
She played Hit Girl.
Keep going. I got all of them.
Colin Jost.
Married to the witch. No, not witch. The other one, Black Widow. Black Widow.
Okay, was a SNL person, right?
Yes, he's SNL, but he's really married to blanking on her name, but I already said it.
Scarlett
Johansson.
Endgame. Yeah, spoilers. We all got into that real quick. Yeah,
Michael
I got more.
Pena.
Michael Pena, buddy from Ant-Man. I don't know his name right now.
You're doing a great job.
Pallavi Sharda.
Oh, I don't know her. I do not.
Oh, so
know
you
her.
weren't ready.
No, I don't. She's not from Marvel. I don't fucking know her. But you keep.
The only one I'll just mention is Ken Jeong, but he was in there for like 2 minutes.
Also in Avengers Endgame. Yes, he's the guy with the rat. Ooh, another rat. Ooh, rat on rat. Ooh.
Hey, you're doing a really, really good job, man.
Because Ant-Man, he sees the rat, and the rat releases Ant-Man, and Tom and Jerry. But also, did you forget about Deadpool and Papa Bear?
I have no idea what you're talking about at this point.
The main guy from the hotel, I think that's Papa Bear from Deadpool.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, welcome to my life.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, welcome.
So his name is Frank?
Sure.
Sounds good. Okay.
That's pretty good.
All right, so Mike, go ahead, everyone. This will be a spoiler-filled discussion. I think we're just going to continue that trend. It makes it's going to be just easier to talk about the movies going forward this way. But yeah, go ahead, Mike. Tell us what you think.
Okay then. So I'm gonna actually send out an apology.
To whom?
To Sal. To only to Sal.
That's fine. I don't need one.
Oh no! Trust me, you don't get an apology after what I'm about to say right now. For a while, there was this movie that me and Sal disagree on. Right? He thinks it was the worst movie that he saw until he saw another movie, and I didn't understand his pain whatsoever. And then watching this movie, now I understand of what he went through watching Scoob.
I knew that was going to come
up. Yeah. It's a red card for me. It's doesn't hold up to anything of what I was expecting for this movie. Watching the trailer for this movie is exactly what I thought it will be. Just a very, I don't know, like it had.
So you're telling me you could have watched the trailer and that's what the movie you saw?
Yeah,
right?
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. The reason why I'm not apologizing to you, Ham, because you had Becky as your movie of the year, so you hold to
of the year. Whoa,
like of the decade.
So that's what I'm trying to say to you. This movie doesn't provide anything for me. I don't like the animation. I don't like any of the characters. I don't like what they were trying to do. It didn't really focus on Tom and Jerry for me, at least. Is this movie a kids movie? Yes, of course. What's the age? For me, I'm gonna say 5 and under. Anything, anything above it, you're already messing with somebody's intelligence. Like if you're questioning, you're making me question of why I'm watching this movie. There is nothing about this movie that I agree with. If anything, I was frustrated as a fan of growing up with Tom and Jerry. I think this. I think they should have just probably just do an animation movie with Tom and Jerry of something. Like you're gonna disagree with me with something like Scoob, but better, of course. I didn't understand of why every animal had to be animation. Just because of what? Bring the animal tornado that had no valuable reason to
I
even.
thought that was funny. Sorry.
I don't know. I thought it was stupid.
No,
It
I'll
was
say
just.
that when I go.
I mean, it is stupid because when this guy Michael Pena was inside of the tornado, all the dog, Tom and Jerry, and
Okay, you
yeah,
brought it up, so
Tom and Jerry, they were literally just standing there inside the tornado, and that tornado is going on itself. I was like, okay, there's
yeah.
no valuable reason of. I mean, I don't know why I'm bringing science into this, but whatever. But
My guy, the science guy.
yeah. But regardless, though, I just don't see any point of this movie even existing. I think it was just a cash grab.
Hmm.
I think Tom and Jerry, the animation for them definitely looked a lot better compared to all the other animals. Every other animal looked like shit to me,
You
and
look. Hmm.
I don't know. It's a red card. I wouldn't recommend this to even a kid. I think it's stupid.
Hmm.
I hated the soundtrack for this movie. It made no sense for me. Um,
Oh,
but yeah,
thank you for reminding me of that.
it's red card right now. This is the worst movie of 2021 for me right now.
I just have two quick questions. What did your wife think of it?
She checked out.
Okay.
She
And
checked out
then
in the
Ooh.
first 30 minutes.
what was your expectation of the movie?
Ooh, what are we doing now? Ooh,
I
No,
mean,
I
I
was
didn't
just
have
curious
any
because he said
no, this is interesting. Interesting.
no, because
No.
he said he expected it wasn't what he expected. So I was just curious, what was it that he
Yeah.
expected?
Yeah, we did it last episode. My expectations.
Well,
of
the thing
other
is
movie.
that
But yeah,
I wasn't expecting much. I was expecting for it to be like, just Tom and Jerry just doing like their own thing and just focusing on just them. Probably Tom is, I mean, what was it? Oh my god, I forgot that. Jerry's the mouse, right?
Yeah,
Fucking forgot.
yes.
Okay,
For
so
Yeah.
I was
supposedly a
expecting.
longtime fan of Tom and Jerry. Yes,
Okay, I
Jerry's the
mean,
mouse.
well, regardless though, I don't fucking care. So Tom, Jerry, whatever, both of them got adopted into the hotel, and one is trying to just do stupid shit to the other and stuff like that. It's just to me, I think they got that right. I will give credit to that, but to me, it was just the story and just overall of them fighting didn't make sense to me
Okay.
in the movie at least.
Mm.
But
Okay.
it was just stupid. But go ahead, your turn, Ham.
I agree with Mike. It's like, okay, so the beginning of the movie. Well, I guess it is. Well, I've got so many things to say. Beginning of the movie, we have a '90s, song with birds, and I'm like, oh no. And no, nobody got that feeling. It's like, oh, this song, we're doing this. This is a fucking show that's been for so many years, but whatever. But then we have, that was a funny joke as Tom is a blind cat playing music, and then it's like, oh, he's faking blind. I'm like, that's kind of funny because it's a cat playing a fucking piano. Come on. Right? That joke got me a little bit, so I'm like, yeah, alright. But then it's like Jerry's fucking his shit up, and then it's like Jerry gets mad at him. I'm like, no, Jerry, you've been fucking his shit up the entire time. Watch the whole movie, watch the whole series. He's trying to do his shit, and you fuck it up, and then you get mad at him? fuck you, Jerry. Fucking itchy and scratchy. Oh man. But let's go with Michael Pena, my boy. Everybody knows it. Look out, look out. I'm glad he's not doing the Mexican accent. Yeah, don't get me started on that. He's doing more of a Spaniard, you know. But also, he's sort of somewhat presented as a bad guy because the sketchy person, you know, got him and got him fired. I'm like, I don't know. Who are the good guys? Who are the bad guys in this movie? Yeah, I'm going deep with this animated shit, but it's not clear.
Yeah, and
Also, I want to ask.
I definitely know what you're talking about. Is that you have this girl where she lied about her resume and using
Yeah,
somebody else's identity, but then Michael Pena, where he's actually the manager, where he's trying to hold
yeah.
everything together, he gets fired because of this girl, and then towards the end, he sets up a plan to ruin a wedding that that was supposed to be his work, but then again,
Well, no, but he's mad. He's pissed off
yeah, he's
because
pissed off.
he is the one in charge.
But the
Yeah,
movie was trying to make him look bad in 1 second, and then later on, he forgives the girl and becomes somebody good again. It was just like, make up your fucking
yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. Thank you for interrupting. No, not interrupting. Interjecting because I love it. Thank you. It does go back and forth. It's like who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, like Tom and Jerry, blah blah blah. Um, before I pass it to Sal, well, I also want to interject in some other things, but did you watch it with your
I
kids?
did.
All right, well, hold on to that, and you can explain a little later. Um, it is a like B class, C class people actors because uh, I don't know. Did everyone, like we said, I talked about it, recognize everyone in this film? Probably not, but also they made money, I guess.
I don't know.
So no, it's out there for pandemic reasons. They made money, but other than that,
What's your card?
What?
ah, I'll give it a yellow for the kids. For the
Oh my
kids.
god, you always fall back to that excuse.
It's a kid movie. A kid would like just look at it and be like, ha
Wait,
ha.
but so is Scoob, and you gave that a red.
Yeah, Scoob is shit.
Oh, okay.
Don't you talk to me about Scoob.
Oh, okay.
At least his characters didn't talk. I mean, shit, they don't talk because they got their fucking vocal cords stripped out by a fucking mad scientist, and they don't talk anymore unless they're singing or thinking inside their head.
Is that canon?
Yes, you saw it in the movie and everywhere else, except for that movie in the 90s. But
Oh, okay. All right, so I knew Mike was going to bring up Scoob because I felt like I was going to bring it up in a sense where how Mike felt with Scoob, the franchise as a whole. Like that was his like childhood cartoon. Tom and Jerry was my childhood cartoon where I literally grew up watching Tom and Jerry cartoons, like old school classic ones. My mom was the one that introduced me into the franchise, and then I continued watching it because it used to be. I don't remember what channel it was on, but I just watched nonstop reruns of it. The Beagle was a staple character in that series, especially when it came to Tom and Jerry Kids. I don't know if anyone ever remember Tom and Jerry Kids. I think that was definitely on the WB on Saturday morning cartoons and stuff. The dog was a staple in the series, so it was nice,
and the little one too.
it was nice to have all those characters there. And my first watch of this movie, and I did say first.
Oh, okay, I like that.
I was watching it and I couldn't understand why a lot of the jokes and a lot of the scenes were just so bland. Like I don't know what it was that I was thinking in my head going into this movie, but there was something about it. I didn't hate it because it was just nice to see Tom and Jerry again. But at the same time, it's like I don't understand what's making this like any sort of like why I should like this movie at all. My kids love this
Mm-hmm.
movie. We've watched it 4 times at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And after finally
Animated.
after finally the third time watching it, the thing that I could come to sense to is this movie isn't trying to be an animated series, like an animated cartoon in a live action format. It's just being an animated cartoon using live people. And so that's why I felt like the movie was just like a regular Tom and Jerry cartoon. Nothing makes sense. Nothing is supposed to be like, reasonable. I don't even think we know where this chick is from and like what she even does, like what her like
Exactly.
what
Yeah,
her
you're
purpose
fair.
was. Like I couldn't tell, like, is she supposed to be a struggling actress? Like, is she an orphan? Like, what's going on? Because we get these little scenes where she's like trying to get free food at the
She killed
hotel.
50 men.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
she's like conning all these people. So it's like like when I was watching the first time, I was like, I don't get this. But every time Tom and Jerry came
Yeah.
up, I was loving it because it was regular old Tom and Jerry.
You were
Yeah,
loving
because
it.
it was Tom and Jerry. Like especially the one scene where the dog has like the lumps. Spike has the lumps coming off of his head,
Yeah,
and Tom does like the
that's
little Tom does a little
reminiscence.
hammer thing and knock it down. I'm like, that's an
Yeah,
old school classic
yeah,
gig. Like that's what they used to do.
yeah.
And it was just so much of that. And the tornado thing. The tornado is another classic thing. That's just always been a
I do like that. It's like I saw the tornado. I'm like,
that's just
I'm
always been a
like,
cartoon thing. And the whole
yeah.
like being inside a cartoon, that is just ridiculous in its own. Like that is what any cartoon episode would do back in the day. And I also realized like this movie would have thrived in the 90s. Like if this movie came out anytime at all in the 90s,
Exactly. Oh yeah, yeah.
this would have been up to par, like with Good Burger or whatever other animated
All
film.
right. The beginning of the movie is a song from the '90s, so that sort of set the pace of where we're gonna go and what we're gonna see. So I think you're absolutely right that that's
Because
what's
I
gonna
was like
happen.
Mike when I first watched it. I was like, what's this with this song? Like I don't get it. Like it's like a blast from the past almost. Like I don't understand.
Yeah,
But like again, I this is a completely biased review because I grew up watching Tom and Jerry, and just like how Mike, you gave Scoob a green, or did you gave it a green, right?
No, I give it a yellow.
You gave it a yellow. Yeah. So with because Mike and or Ham and I are on the side of Scoob wasn't that great of a movie. I don't know what it was, but
yeah.
I think that's where our biases come into play because with this one I don't want to give it a red because I don't. For me, it is not that terrible movie. But again, I come from my childhood cartoon was Tom and Jerry. Mike's childhood cartoon was Scoob. So it's only fair that he, puts it on a higher pedestal than the rest of us. So I don't fault
That's fair.
Mike for like saying it. It's a red card. Like I can see that. Like this is like if you're not a fan of Tom and Jerry, this is a ridiculously stupid movie that no one should like. But because I grew up watching a lot of those cartoons. And it wasn't just Tom and Jerry. It's like even Looney Tunes, for example. Looney Tunes does the
Yeah,
same gigs and
exactly.
stuff. So, to be honest with you, I don't know where I fall because after watching it this third time, I think because of all of that, I just want to give it a green card because of the whole feel good, like, just being a child again and just watching these cartoons just for the stupid ridiculousness of a cartoon and not a cartoon trying to be something deep and meaningful where I feel like some cartoons are trying to nowadays. Like
They tried at the
especially
end,
if you go
right?
back and like watch Rocket Power or Rugrats or any of those like SpongeBob even there's like stupid deeper
Mm.
meanings to it that there's
But
not supposed to be a deeper meaning to it, but because nowadays cartoons have to have this sort of like rule to that, I just want to watch a cartoon just to watch a cartoon. And so
but they tried this at the end of the movie. But fuck
yeah,
that.
but that message is not even that deep. It's just like, okay, apologize for everything. And then we don't even get like a love interest either. Like they bring out the other guy who's like buddy with her,
Yeah,
who's hinting that there's a love interest there, but it doesn't even go that route. It's just they're just friends at that point. And
yeah. It's like, you don't see it right now, but like wave my hand. I'm like, yeah, next, 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 next,
I
next.
just I don't know. I honestly don't know where I fall. I'm gonna default to just a yellow card for now, but I mean, I do enjoy it, and even after the fourth time watching it, I don't mind if my kids want to watch it again. Like I'll watch it again and again. Like I do like it, and I do like chuckle every once in a while at those old classic cartoon gigs.
I chuckled a few spots. Like I said, with the oh, he's a cat. He's blind, playing a piano. Oh, he's not blind. What? So that's
And then there's
there you
like I was trying to find a commonality amongst all the characters, especially with the main girl and Tom and Jerry. And the only thing I could really think of, and it maybe makes sense, is that they're all three characters trying to make it in the city, kind of like trying to.
Yes,
I don't want to say make it big, but
I
they're
saw
trying
that.
to
I
just
saw that.
succeed
I
and
saw that.
survive and live by what they can. And so I thought that whole like that trio there, especially as it got closer towards the end, I was like, oh, okay, this for me this makes more sense.
But also, I saw that in between where like, okay, but we have to fuck the people who are established and what they're doing, and then sort of get into that situation. It's like, oh no, you're bad, we're good, but no, don't worry about that. Scratch that shit out. But either way, I do like. I will say, Angel on the left, you are on the right. The invisible person, she pops up here and there, and I thought it was kind of funny. Anybody else say yes or
Is she
no?
from something like?
No, I don't know. I think she's somebody that has a bunch of money.
Okay, yeah, no, she was. Yeah, she was.
I
It
don't
was a
know.
couple laughs here and there. Um,
You
yeah,
liked
yeah,
it?
it
Yeah,
was
you
fine.
liked it. Yeah, Mike.
He hated the movie. There's nothing
I
he's
yeah.
gonna like.
Mike is dead. Mike, what the fuck are you doing right
I'm not
now?
gonna. I mean, there's nothing much for me to say. I already said what I have to say. Like I said, I there was nothing for me to really discuss. I've said what I have to say about the movie. I didn't like any of
Mm-hmm.
the characters in the movie. I think the acting in it was terrible. Um,
You didn't like
Nobody. I
anybody?
hated everybody, including like the main character. I hated Michael Pena in this one. I hated him. I understand Sal because I did play that card as well too with Scoob. That it's a childhood memory that I have in my heart that I enjoyed, and I could see his point of view with this movie. It's just for me, it wasn't good. It wasn't good enough for me.
Okay. Okay. So what's next and what's coming
I'll tell
up?
you what's coming up in a mission.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about some major things that happened in the last week. Now, there are other headlines that did happen. I mean, Anthem was canceled completely, in case anyone thought that was a surprise. We got a casting for Tiny Tina for Borderlands, which
Wait,
Ham,
what?
yeah, that it's the girl from One and Only Ivan.
I know Tiny Tina, but
It's
result.
the girl from One and Only Ivan. I forget what her name is, but it's there. You can look it up later. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. Loki has a release date of June 11th, so shortly, I would say. Well, not shortly after, but not too long after. I'm sure Winter Soldier ends because I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is only 6 episodes long, but they're like hour-long episodes. Star Wars Bad Batch is supposed to premiere on May 4th this year on Disney Plus. So those are just kind of the minor stuff, but there are 3 main pillars that we got to talk about: PlayStation, Pokemon, and Paramount. The 3 P's of life, as Ham would say. I don't know which one you guys want to talk about first. Which one do we want to tackle?
Let's talk about Paramount. It's I feel I want to get that over with.
Okay, so Paramount, this is Ham's dream come true. A movie production company has come out with their own streaming service that is actually by the time this episode comes up, would have already started.
Mm-hmm.
So Paramount Plus, the renamed streaming service formerly known as CBS All Access, which encompasses all of Viacom CBS's network and brands, is getting a huge assortment of new major theatrical films. Variety and Deadline report that Mission Impossible 7, A Quiet Place 2, and the Paw Patrol movie are slated to release on Paramount Plus a mere 45 days after their theatrical debut, with Variety noting that Paramount will look to 30 days for most titles and 45 days for the tent poles. So this was announced not too long ago. I think this was like just last week, actually. And it's going to launch on March 4th. I guess the standard intro one is going to be priced at $5.99 a month. And then the premium is going to be $9.99 a month. There's also an annual option that saves you around 15% and costs $59.99 annually for the limited commercial option, or $99.99 without any ads. Now, there are also a couple of shows in the works for this as well. iCarly, for those iCarly fans out there, I guess it's coming back. I don't know if it's a new series or if it's just a reunion thing, but that's happening. There's a Rugrats reboot, which there's a clip out there.
It's all you.
It's a 30-second clip of Rugrats. It's a CGI type of animation, but it's got the original voice cast of the Rugrats show. And probably the one that stabs me in the heart the most is that the Halo TV series is going to be premiering on this streaming service in 2022 instead of being on Showtime.
So
right, I don't know who wants to take this up first.
I'm gonna let you take it off first.
No, Mike is always the first one to go. So
I mean, out of all three of us, I feel like Sal is the one that has the most to say about this.
I feel like Ham had the most to say since this was his dream come true.
No, you guys always say this shit, but my thing is, I see the future, I predict the future, and I tell you guys, and you guys are like, no, it's not gonna happen. And I'm like, this is what's gonna happen. I don't want it to happen, but this is what you're gonna do to survive. So,
listen, all I'm gonna say is that I have no real reason. Well, now that I saw what else is being on there, I don't want to subscribe to this thing.
I know
I'm
you
obviously going to have to, at least for when Halo comes out. Hopefully there's a free trial at that point so I can at least watch the series and then wait till the next year till season 2 comes out, if there is a season 2. I know Paw Patrol is on there, and that's something my kids love. They love to watch Paw Patrol, and I'd rather them try to watch it on this instead of YouTube, where they look at other crap on YouTube, like Ryan's toy reviews or whatever. So I don't know if this has completely sold me. I might just do the intro pricing. We'll see. I have to check it out. Hopefully there's at least a 1-week free trial of it. I think this, and I said this when Ham brought it up, because this was Ham's concern. He said he didn't want to see these movie companies, these production companies, bring out their own streaming services because it's going to suck. And it's true, because now we're just adding more and more onto our entire list of streaming services, and it just, I don't know. I hate that this exists. I hate that this is probably going to get some people. I mean, some people do like A Quiet Place was a good movie, right? I never saw it, but there was a lot of
really good movie.
People were talking about it. Mission Impossible.
I was gonna see it like a year and a half ago, but yeah.
Mission Impossible is a franchise just as much as Fast and the Furious is a franchise. There's a huge following for Mission Impossible. What else was on here? I feel Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is going to be on this. Like, there are reasons to get this, yes, but now we're just gonna, if this succeeds, this is going to lead to other movie companies doing the same thing, and hence why Ham's fruition, like visions, come true.
No, exactly. That's what I'm saying is, I told you it was gonna happen. People were like, ha ha ha, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, okay, I warned you. What's gonna happen? Be prepared.
I think.
Yeah, I already told you, motherfuckers. Yeah, what you got for me, Mike?
Well, I agree with Sal that it's going to be ridiculous because there's so many streaming services,
Oh
so
yeah,
many
me
of them.
too.
You know, Quibi just fell. Rest in peace to Quibi.
Mhm.
But we have Tubi now. It's going to be the savior
I
of
go.
everybody. But all right, I want you guys to answer this question for me. I might be
I got an easy
outdated.
answer, so go ahead.
No, it's fine because you know how there's still cable, like with Spectrum. Well, we have Spectrum here. I bet you Spectrum is up north as well. There's DirecTV and everything like that. I feel like there should be a subscription. I'm going to say so I'm going to say that subscription that you're subscribed to all these streaming services for probably for what, like a good, what's a good budget? Will you guys say $60 a month, $50 to 40?
60.
Ham
I'm
doesn't even
sorry,
pay
but
$60 for a video game. What makes it?
no, I told you guys we would have to look up all these subscriptions and do
But
all.
but the problem is,
Yeah,
like, if you go back to cable or even satellite, right? It
no,
doesn't
no,
have that.
no. Let's go
Well,
back
no.
about
If
like
it's
6 months ago when I told you all these whatever, and then calculated how much is what. This is 6 months ago or less. But I said it.
the problem with going back to cable or satellite is that you don't have that luxury of rewatching those things again right away, right? Because whatever the episode premieres, it just premieres and then that's it. You just have to wait till the rerun happens, and the reruns usually happen at the most inconvenient times. You could get DVR, I guess, but that only has so much memory, and then you end up upgrading to bigger memory, which costs more. Uh, I mean, they've even tried doing streaming cable. Like there's Sling. Sling is a streaming service that is just cable channels. It's like having cable, but you don't rely on a cable network. You just rely on internet connection. And I don't think a lot of people are subscribed to that. Otherwise, we would hear about it more. It's being promoted a lot because I'm sure it's trying to get more people, but it's like I
Yeah,
tried it
right.
out for like a couple of days, but I mean it was fine. Like I didn't feel like paying $20 a month for it though, especially if everything I watch is already on Netflix, already on now Disney Plus or whatever. It's like
Yeah,
there's no like it feels so inconvenient to go back to that, and I think that's what
Mm-hmm.
the culture has changed to. This is it's the same concept as the whole binge culture. Like, would you rather watch it week by week or would you rather watch the whole thing at once? Like it's kind of led to that now, and I don't think anyone would find it great to go back unless you really are sick and tired of all these subscription services, unless you really literally cannot find anything that you want to watch on these things.
So not that what we talked about it, HBO Go and then all
I think
those.
every company now saw what happened with Universal, and I think theaters and
Yeah,
movie
exactly.
companies are agreeing with that. Is that give us 30 days
Mm,
to put it in the
yeah.
movie theaters and stuff like that, and then put it on the streaming service. But I think later on, once everything goes back to normal, hopefully everything goes back to normal. Um,
All
I,
right,
I
Mike
think that
is
deal will change.
Okay, so do we want to tackle PlayStation X or Pokemon next?
PlayStation.
Okay.
both.
State of Play event just happened last week, and to be clear, because I think a lot of people had a lot of misconceptions about what was actually supposed to be presented. I want to go back to what we said last time in our episode.
God damn it! I wish you didn't.
PlayStation published a new blog announcing the newest State of Play will premiere later this week and will serve up updates and deep dives for 10 games coming to PS4 and PS5, along with updates on existing third-party and indie titles. There will also be new game announcements. Now, to get back to the State of Play, PlayStation has games, people. That's what it comes
No,
down to.
really? Yeah.
In our last episode, we did mention that we recorded before the state and play, so we didn't know what they're going to show. So we kind of did like predictions, probably the new God of War and stuff like that.
Ratchet and Clank,
Yeah.
Horizon.
Mm-hmm. So, but by me saying that, I didn't have my expectations high. I didn't know what to really to
Mhm.
expect.
Uh huh.
Me watching this, I came
Yeah.
into the idea of like, am I going to play these games? There was a couple.
You playing
There was a
shit.
couple. Play more than you, buddy. Uh, there was there was a couple
Whoa!
of games that I was like, you know what? This actually looks pretty fun. I can't. I mean, for me, I don't know why, but Sofu,
What are you playing again?
was it Sifu, Sofu, whatever that fighting?
Seafood did look interesting.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah,
for
Sifu did
yeah.
look interesting. It actually looked pretty fun. A lot. I mean, the state of play is getting a lot of backlash because a lot of people had high expectations. But in my opinion, I feel like they played it safe. It was definitely a remastered of everything that was shown back last year, from last June to this in February. I think it was okay. It wasn't bad. I think they played it safe, as in they're showing games that are coming out soon in March and April, and that's fine. You know, sure, couldn't they probably like showed up, maybe announce something, but I think they're gonna save that during the summer for the holidays. So it's okay. It wasn't bad. I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't hype. I was like, okay, I actually might actually check out these games, and I'm actually happy that they announced something for Final Fantasy, and that it's going to the PS5, and it's getting a DLC as well. And oh my god! But there was one fucking game that drive me crazy. That Five Nights at Freddy. I'm passing on that.
Oh, I have a comment to say about
Oh,
that,
We
but
did that
there's no
already.
Nicolas Cage. I don't want it.
oh man,
Whoa!
that was my
Oh
comment.
no!
I'll say two things about this. The first thing I'll say is, yeah, Mike, I would completely agree with you if I was able to get a PlayStation 5.
That's true. Yep.
Because literally
Yeah,
everything on here
2005.
was supposed to be like, oh, hey, remember this game we used to have on the PS4? Where now we're upgrading it to the PS5. So now you can enjoy. Oh wait, you can't. You got fucking ripped off by scalpers.
Yeah.
Like that's how it felt like. It was like, okay, great.
What are you?
I get it. If I feel like if the PS5 wasn't so difficult to
Life.
get because of the scalpers and shit, then I think this would have come off a lot better with people. But because it is an issue, this is getting to the point of, okay, great, we see all these performance enhancements and
But I don't
everything,
have
but most of the people can't really enjoy
one. Yeah.
it. So, but the other thing I'll say is, in defense of this, that too many people at this point are now expecting anything that comes out of any developer or any gaming company to be like an E3 level announcement, which then takes away from the whole point of E3. Like it's like the whole Pokemon thing was a big fiasco way back in the day. Then we had the Xbox games announcement, the showcase that they had last summer. Like everyone is expecting anything that PlayStation or Microsoft or Nintendo, whatever they come out with, it has to have some sort of huge big game announcement in order to carry them on to the next year or in order to entice them. When it doesn't have to. Like I like the concept of state of play. I think PlayStation was the first one to do it. Xbox then did a game showcase where they started highlighting some things that their games did. I just think a lot of people just have way too many high expectations, and we're getting to the level of being entitled or feeling like are these companies owe us something just because we're home at bored with nothing else to do with our lives. And yeah, so many people can hate me for saying that. Sure, I don't care, but I think that's the truth.
No,
And I think it needs to stop because we never had these issues before the pandemic. We were always fine with whatever PlayStation came out, with whatever
I
Xbox came out,
agree.
whatever Nintendo came out. No one had complaints back then. Sure, you'll have like those few people that like complain about graphics and shit every once in a while, but no one ever really complained about what they announced at these things. Like it was just, hey, it was cool that we got to see something, and then that was it, and we move on and wait for the next event.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
No, I agree 100% because we're in the situation and people don't know shit. So, hey, wake up and figure out that's what happens before, after, future wise. That's what it is.
I mean,
They showed off. Oh,
my
go
bad.
ahead.
What?
I just want to mention, like, yeah, the games that they showed was games that
Mm-hmm.
were announced last year, but it was gameplay. You know what I mean? Like it was actually it
True.
was actually
Yeah.
really cool to see, and they're coming out pretty soon. And I think that's what state of play should definitely be about, is that games that are coming out like around the corner should be shown, and later on whatever's going to be announced, I think that's going to be in the summer. So I don't know what people were really expecting. I think I know Angry Joe, he had a huge rant about it, but and so did everybody else.
Mm,
But to me, it was just they're overreacting. You're gonna tell me that you're gonna turn on all the games that they showed? Like Returnal didn't look good to you? Returnal looked great to me.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I
mm.
think that the fact that they
Don't get me
actually
started.
I think the fact that they actually showed gameplay was refreshing. Like where I think you and I, Mike,
Mm.
especially, and Ham for sure, like are getting tired of these cinematic trailers. But it was just nice to see gameplay. Even Crash Bandicoot, I was just like, I don't care for this game, but hey, that's cool that they're actually showing what the game looks like to make people at least want to be interested in
Yeah.
it. So going down the list, Crash Bandicoot is coming on to PlayStation 5 with all the updates and everything. We did get some gameplay of Returnal, which the only way I could describe it is if Dead Space went like hardcore action, like just action game. Like it just seemed more shooting than it did more
To me,
horror.
it
I think.
looked Dead Space meet Doom with the whole dashing. Because in Doom, you're able
Yeah,
to dash
yeah.
and everything.
All right, let's go ahead and cover the last thing here, which is Pokemon. Really, I think these guys are just doing it for
No,
me
no,
at
no,
this
no, that's
point.
just for you.
Pokemon.
I love Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Pokemon had a big weekend. They celebrated their 25th anniversary on the 27th. That was Pokemon Day.
Yeah.
I guess we'll start off first with because this I was surprised by how short it was, but nevertheless, the virtual concert. Mike, what did you think of the virtual concert? That great. Okay, great. Okay, let's move on from there.
You know what? I heard it
Oh
was good.
man. Oh, okay. I'll say this much. Oh, there's so many things I could. Oh man. If
Oh,
if
it is
if I
some
could say
I
one
shit.
don't.
word, just underwhelming.
Sal?
I can't fault him. Like I can't really argue that because again, it goes with. I feel
Uh
like it goes and
huh.
goes with expectation, right? We had this conversation when we first brought this up. Was like I didn't know what to expect. Like I was trying to question: Is this? Are we going to hear just a Post Malone songs like playlist? Is this? Are we going to hear Pokemon music? Like what is this virtual concert going to look like? Is it going to be the animated Post Malone that they teased in the video, or is it going to be actual Post Malone? And so going into this, I literally did not know what to expect. So from a Pokemon fan point of view, um, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I, in fact, loved everything about it except for the animation to Post Malone was very awkward in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
ways. But
The
I
animation,
think the
yeah.
focus wasn't necessarily on Post Malone. The focus was, I mean, if you ever get around to watching him, the animation to the Pokemon world, I thought was
Yeah, it
like
was really nice.
phenomenal. Like that was something that was just so surreal and just like I wish I could see more of that animation. And the only nitpick I actually have is that it was so short. It was only 15
It was
minutes.
short.
It was only
Okay.
15 minutes. And I was like, wait, what? Like literally four songs went by and then Post Malone was like, all right, thank you for everything. I appreciate being here. Bye. See ya. And I was like, oh, okay. Um, so like, I don't know. I wasn't expecting much of anything. And I did like the Post Malone songs that I like the playlist that he played. Also did the one cover of Hootie and the Blowfish on there as well. I thought it matched very well with with the theme and everything. I really liked it. I think the animations was still awkward for Post Malone, like the way he was having his hand on his hip.
Mm,
I couldn't tell if this was something that they actually
mm.
animated or if this was like a mocap
Well,
suit kind of thing where
he does
Post
that in
Malone.
his concerts. That's like one of his things that he does. That he does the hand on the hip and stuff like that. Um,
Okay. But it also sounded like it was an actual concert though. Like I initially was thinking like are they just playing like the tracks at this point? Like what's the point of like having him kind of upfronting this? But it actually sounded like if you were at a concert where you know how they always play the song in the background and you know you think that they're lip syncing but they start singing off like lyrics like off
oh
tune
yeah.
and everything
Hmm.
and it's like oh shit they're actually legitimately singing and he did that multiple times in there so I wasn't sure exactly what went on behind the
Yeah,
scenes there.
I did like that too. It wasn't just his regular songs. It was him actually performing the music. But I'll say this though. I'll give this credit is that I did like the animation of the Pokemon. That was definitely the highlight of the concert. Um, I think just himself was kind of weird. Like I don't know why, but I was just thinking about Rock Band. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, I see
Yeah,
it.
like
Yeah.
just a
Rock
Rock
band,
Band
yeah,
character
rock
just
band.
singing,
It
like,
makes
you know what I
sense.
mean? And it was kind of funny
Rock
of
band.
like
Yeah.
when it come to his parts of like parts of his song where he's about to curse. Like it's just like it cuts off awkwardly and then it goes back to singing. I'm just like, they could have done a better job
Yeah.
probably on that. But I I I have no problem with Post Malone playing or performing for the 25 years anniversary. I don't know. To me, I think it would have been a better concert, and I would have loved at least maybe one or two songs of an actual Pokemon song. You know what I mean? Like the intro of
I
I
agree.
want to be
Yeah.
the very best, or another
Mm-hmm.
song that's a very I mean, for me at least, all I know is the I want to be the very best song. I don't-
Right. Yeah, I mean, the overall reception in the Pokemon community for this was they really did enjoy it. Like, there's a lot of like love for this one, but it's mostly on the animation.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
just the nitpicks are
yeah,
it was
for sure,
super
for sure.
short, and the other one being that there was not a Pokemon song
Mm-hmm.
per se being
Yeah.
sung.
Yeah.
How do you feel though about your boy also being a part of this P25 music collaboration with Pokemon?
Oh,
J
J Balvin's
Balvin?
super weird.
Mm,
It's a
I'm
Spanish
going.
singer of J Balvin. It's super weird. I was confused by it. I was like, are they? Is he going to perform right after Post Malone? I had to go search it up, but it's an album that they're working on with Katy Perry, J Balvin, Post Malone, and a whole bunch of different artists. Um, I don't know how that's going to be.
Let's move on to the Pokemon Presents, which is the like it's not a direct. There's actually different between a direct and a presents, but I'm not going to get into that. Um, just covering Pokemon Snap. They talked more about the region. They talked more about the features. They talked about the social aspect to it, where you can upload a photo to like this database. People can see it. People can upvote if they want to, and you earn points and shit like that. Mike, does this entice you at
Oh
all to
yeah, I
play
mean,
Pokemon Snap?
I don't need all that stuff, but I am very interested in getting Pokemon Snap and playing it. I was actually talking about this with my brother. He was like, he doesn't think it's going to be a long lasting game, but he thinks, and I believe as well, it's going to be like one of those party games. Like, hey, let's play it for at least like 20 or 30 minutes, and
Yeah, I can
but
definitely
it
see
looked
that.
really interesting though.
Yeah, I don't think Pokemon Snap is meant to be a long term game like the main series. So, the next thing they had talked about was the remakes of Diamond and Pearl. This was something that everyone figured it was coming. The only really well, there's two interesting about this. The first one, this is not directed directly from the Game Freak company, which is responsible for all the Pokemon games. This comes off Pokemon Home, which is a Pokemon app, which is kind of the reason why it's got like what they call quote
Yeah,
unquote chibi style, a chibi style. Um, I'm a huge fan of Pokemon, regardless of whatever style, whatever direction they want to take. So of course I'm going to be buying these games. There's kind of like a weird mixed reception about it. People were clamoring for these remakes. Isn't what they expected. Go figure. But I'm looking forward to it. Mike, did you have any thoughts on this one?
Um. Oh, I'm actually was very I mean, I'm not into the whole Pokemon like social media of what people were predicting, so I was actually quite surprised. And the gameplay what they showed was very interesting for me, at least for me to actually like purchase a Switch and actually because I never played Diamond and Pearl, so it looked really good, and I'm very interested in it.
The one game that interested people the most, though, was the next game that they announced, which was Pokemon
Yes,
Legend Arceus, which everyone is comparing it to the Breath of the Wild version of Pokemon, something that people kind of wanted for since the Switch came out. It's kind of interesting in the sense that it's now exploring more of the history behind Pokemon, at least for this specific region. It's labeled as an action RPG, which is weird because that's the first time I think Pokemon has ever been labeled that. It's always been an RPG game, but this is now an action RPG. And if you saw the trailer, the guy's like tucking
yeah,
and rolling and shit like that. So I don't know. Like Mike, you're more of like this type of gamer than I am, especially when it comes to poke. I don't know. I don't know really what I'm trying to go with on this one is that I feel like I kind of want to see what your input is on this, seeing that you're not really like a hardcore Pokemon
Yeah.
fan. Like you like the franchise, but looking at this sort of with that perspective of like comparing it to Breath of the Wild or comparing it to any other
It
open
looked
world
really
game, like
cool.
what do you think?
To be honest with you, the only thing I'm a little bit worried is that what they showed was that is not that much interaction with a lot of things in the world. Like the world looked empty, in my opinion. Like the guy, of course, like was hiding inside the bushes, and he threw his Pokeball, and it was more like okay, he threw the Pokeball, and then you just see the ball like moving, and then boom, you got the Pokemon. But I would have liked to see more of focusing on just throwing and actually showing the Pokemon going inside the Pokeball, like how Pokemon Go is. Yeah, more animation
So more
to it and a lot
animation
more
to it.
interaction with it. But if they could get those two things working, I think this is going to be a mind blowing game.
Um,
But
that's
overall,
pretty
were you
much it.
satisfied with the event?
Um, oh yeah, I was really happy. I liked the start of it where they kind of went through all 25 years of history of Pokemon. I thought that was kind of nostalgic, and then my only nitpick was that it ended so abruptly. Like it went back to the director and was like, "All right, thank you for everything, bye." And I was like, "Oh,
I think I said
okay."
the same exact thing too.
Like
I was like,
sure.
wait, it's done. That's it.
Yeah, I was like, no, thank you for 25 years of this and that. No special, speech or
I do,
anything. Just bye. But it just makes me think that they're gonna have
yeah,
more
for
of
sure.
these throughout the year. So I'll hold judgment off of that. But it's just a nitpick of mine. But otherwise, I was very happy with what they showed, and I mean, it's Pokemon. Like I said, I'll just buy anything that has a
One of the
Pikachu
things
stamp
that I
on it,
had
no matter what.
to I've noticed because that was a thing that I was actually complaining was that I was like, okay, I felt like it was short, and did they do enough for the 25-year anniversary? And when I was thinking about it, I was saying, you know what? I think
It,
yes, I think they did enough for this 25-year anniversary. They did the Pokemon cards, the toys, um the concert, of course it ended shortly, and this event of announcing two games, but of course showing gameplay of Pokemon Snap
all right, next week we are going to be talking about Raya and the Last Dragon that comes out on
today.
Disney Plus. Also, I'll probably today, yeah, actually today this episode gets published. I'll also probably just throw in my few quick tidbits about the last set of episodes for Pokemon, seeing that I'm going to be the only one probably that finishes watching all those 12 episodes beforehand. And then that'll be it. So that's what you guys look forward to next
Yeah,
week.
guys.
Mike, do the
Earlier
social.
we did a question out. We threw a question out there for you guys. What is your favorite Pokemon of all time? Answer us in Instagram at Drunk Competent Teacher, and follow us on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter at Drunk Competent Teacher. We had a MySpace, but Ham kind of messed that up, or I don't know, whatever. He was the manager of that, but Drunk Competent Teacher if you have MySpace. And also, too, write us an email of any questions, Q&A, or anything, or any requests or anything like that. And our email is drunkcop.ateacher@gmail.com.
All right, I think we kind of stretched this episode long enough, so we'll just end it there, and
Later,
we'll talk
guys.
to you guys next week.